So this is Baruch here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. It's time that I would like to learn the Zohar. The Zohar, I want to begin always with the Zohar. There are few people that really can plug into it, but the ones that do, we can really gain a tremendous amount here, and I'm doing the best I can to try to bring it. Now here is a deeper piece of sod. So I have to work a little harder on this little piece in order to try to understand what's going on here right now in Parsha Terumah. So let's read the Zohar like we do, try to piece together what he said, and then the Matak Medavash is going to get into a deeper piece of a read. He says like this: Hanishkafa, that I guess means that shines. Kad mischavren tabayhu kachada. Now, what's the situation we're talking about? We're talking about that Yaakov Avinu has two wives. These are also, let's say, these are the wives of Zeranpin. So they're called the Nukta Zeranpin. One is at the higher level. That's Leah. Leah is from approximately the neck down to the chest, and Rachel is on the back of Zeranpin from the chest down to the floor, down to the feet of Zeranpin. That's where she's located. Now, the two of them are separate because they have two separate sources of energy. But the fact of the matter is they're both the wives of Yaakov, and we understand they're sisters, and at different times they combine. So when they combine, the combination of bringing them all together is for the purpose of actually the Nesira, that is the removal of them from the back of Zeranpin, and when they come to the front of Zeranpin, through a process which has a lot of detail to it. And they come to mate with Zeranpin, ultimately, there's kissing, and then there's hugging, and then there's mating. So all of this is the creation of really tremendous beauty. Now, to be able to understand this and goodness, so be able to understand this, let's just try it. That's a little background on it. It says, Kaz mischavrin tavayku chachada, so the time when Rachel and Leah become one, Kamel Shachar, it's like the morning time, clear and bright, or shining like the morning. Kad boy Shachrusa lanhara, it's like the potential time when you're waiting for the light of the sun, or the light to start to really bring the light everywhere. Well, the Vasa is Nehir Sehira, then after the sun though is kindled and now it's shining, this also lights up the moon. Kad batosh ba nehira de shimshan, when does it light up the moon? When the moon is struck by the light of the sun. Well, the basa kashimshan, then after that it becomes like the sun. Kad kaima sikrach b'shlimach, and this is when we say like this is when the moon is in its completeness. So let's see what the Matak says and see how we can understand it. That we have a little bit of background to understand. This has to do with the process. Just say this out loud a little bit more. So we understand that in the nighttime, Rachel, who is actually the mate of Zeranpin, she goes down into Bria and leaves only, it's a little bit debatable, one of her spheros, which is usually Kesser. She only leaves her Kesser behind. All of the rest of the spheros, either they go into, and we're going to see, either they go into Bria along with her, and that's what goes into Bria. So let's read what he says, like the Masha Kosev Mi Zois, where it writes Mi Zois. So Mi and Zois, he's saying, is a combination of two ideas: the level of Bina, which is Leah, and the level of from the chest to the bottom of Zeranpin is Rachel. Nishkava. So now let's go into the Hainu Kad Mishavran Tabaychu Gahada Kasheshin Nishavras Rachel V'Lesh Techen Ka'achas, when the two of them come together. Oz me, the Zois, then it comes out that the me that is Leah is the me. The Zois, which is Rachel, Niras Kapartsa V'Echad, they prepare to be one complete singular parts. Behind the Achar Hatzois Laila, when does this take place? This takes place after midnight. Now, what do you say? If you talk about what do we mean now? Be'ez hayichud de Yaakov Leah. So he says, I think it means like this. Let me read again. Oz mi bezois niris kaparts of echod. Behind the achar atzos laila. I kind of really pitched it in a little bit different. It's this is the right way. But behind the achar atzos laila. Let's look at the time. After midnight. Be'ez hayichud de Yaakov Leah. So there is a yichud at that time with Yaakov and Leah, because as I said in the preamble, let's say, that Rachel goes down basically into Bria during the nighttime, really in order to try to rescue the light that has fallen into darkness. So therefore Leah spreads, and she goes at the place where Rachel used to be. She spreads all the way down to the bottom of Zeranpin's, matching the back of Zeranpin. Vaz Rachel no senes the Leah b'shayla. So then what happens is that the rest of the spheros of Rachel, she gives as a loan. I'll call her Kalim Shalah. All of her different spheros, she gives them to Leah. So Leah, in other words, they're absorbed in Leah. Then it says, Kad boy shachrus, and now the sun wants to shine. Hashachar rotza lahoyer. The sun wants to shine, because now you're in the morning time. Now you reach through the nighttime, which is a yichud between Yaakov and Leah. Leah all the way down to the bottom, and Yaakov all the way up to the top. They have a yichud together all night long until the morning comes. And when the morning comes, it continues on. It continues on all of the second half of the night, ad or haboker, until the morning light. And then when the morning begins to shine, adayim hein b'chuparos is still touched, still together. That is Yaakov and Leah. V'achar kol hadikunim anaasim b'boker. So then after all of the different, really the mendings that are done, the boker al yidei kol seder hatefillah. So through the entire seder of the tefillah, that is, and from what does that mean? For Birchos HaShachar, for the very beginning, on the Tilas Yadayim, Ad Shebegim L'Tehillah L'Keil Elyon, which is right before Shira in the morning. Asher L'Keil Elyon, there should go Alam. Sha'az Sarak L'Kum L'Kava D'Aras HaYisod, because then things change. Now you have to stand up in order to appear before the glory of the light of the Yisod of Abba Ve'ima V'Zer Anpin. Ki oz isnehir sehira, because in other words, there you stand up because the tremendous light is going to start flowing. As a result of the brachos that you said before that, it's going to start flowing now. So therefore you need to stand up. Ki oz me'ira halabanda shehi Rachel. So then what happens is, as this light flows, Rachel begins to start shining herself. So there we see that the lights, the Yisodis that we were talking about, they go down, they pass all the way through the Yisodis of Abba Ve'ima, past the Yisodis into the Yisodis Zer Anpin, and then they're going to be transferred to and shine on Rachel. And they start shining on her when she's in the second to the top level in Olam HaBriah. She's way down in Bria. But Goremes Lasha Tachsor Sham Pona Beponim, and it causes ultimately for her to come out of Bria, to step into its silos. We know from other places that she goes and takes a position on the left arm of Zeranpin, or with Yaakov, but Tis Yachedimo, and then she makes a yichud there. And that's why it says it is beautiful like the moon. And then after that there's a pasuk. The pasuk says, Adni, my mouth I will open. Vasafasai, my lips I will open. Olim lahechul kodei kadosh. So when you say that particular phrase, now this is right after Tehillas L'Keil Elyon. After that, you get to the phrase, then you get to the very beginning of the Shmona Esrei in that phrase. Tiftach, asfasai tiftach. Olim the Heichel Kodei Kadosh in the Bria. You're now actually, I've seen it in the Rav. He said that it's a mixture place. It's a I keep always using the word. It's a what you call it, an interface between Olam HaBria and Olam Yetzirah. So he says, God batash ba dehira deshimsha. So when it's struck by the light of the sun, Shemaka umeir ba or Hashemesh, and now she's struck. In other words, this combination of Leah and Yaakov is not going to keep going on. So because the son of Zer Anpin should be Yisodo, and is Yisod Kolula mi Yisoda shel Abba ve'ima, which also has flowing into it the Yisodas of Abba ve'ima. But Yidei Zechem Oilim the Oilim Achatzilus, and they use this, and they're able to bring them all up into Olam Atzilus. This is all bringing her out of Bria, where she goes every night. And as the sunshine, which is meaning the potential of Zer Anpin as a result of all of the fairs that have come before it. Well, the Basa Kashimsha Va'achakach Na'asis parts of Shalom, then she becomes a complete parts of, because Zer Anpin Hanikra Shemesh lies just like Zer Anpin, who is called the sun. Behind her got Kaima Sikra Bishlimo. As Rachel is standing in her perfection in Olam Atzilus now, she shines just like the sun. This is Baruch Fleischman, and this has been the shir on Parsha's Terumah. Tonight is really Erev Shabbos Kodesh. It's the beginning of the 6th day, Zev Yisod.